Good day to you. My name is Maria Kądzielska and you are watching Poland Daily Culture from the Royal Castle in Warsaw. There is a wonderful exhibition, the masterpieces of Vatican, here in the Royal Castle, and that's why we'll talk a little bit more about John Paul II. Here with us is Paweł Figurski, historian and also an expert of a center devoted to the thought of John Paul II. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So my question is a little bit tricky, but since at the exhibition we see a lot of pieces of art which were connected to John Paul II, what kind of paintings were he had around him, which were part of his daily life and were basically influencing also his spirit and his person the most?
Being a pope in Rome means being surrounded by the most excellent pieces of art in the human history. So maybe we won't talk too much about all those works that were surrounding John Paul II as the Pope. But worth mentioning is his so-called private chambers, his bedroom, where there was a painting, a copy of a painting, Ecce, Homo, painted by Albert Chmielowski, an artist who turned out into a monk who devoted his life to seeking beauty in those unexpected places, like the faces of those homeless people on the street. A path that was very inspiring for John Paul II as well, when he was discerning his vocation, when he decided to enter the seminary and stop his career as an actor, as an artist. He thought about Chmielowski, he thought about this change, this upheaval that occurred in the life of the famous painter who became a servant of the poor in Krakow, administering them food. John Paul II, in a sense, followed his way, and this picture presents Christ before the Pilate after the flagellation, Christ with wounds, Christ that is unlike human figure that one could say, if one glanced at it only without deep reflection, as an antithesis of beauty. But John Paul II, who looked deeper through all the human existence, was able, through these wounds, to enter, as if through the gate, into the supernatural beauty, the beauty of God, who is able to transform the wound, the pain and the suffering of the world into love. And maybe that is the reason why this painting, Ecce Homo, depicting Christ who is tormented, Christ that is unlike the image of a human beauty advertised in our world, but through these wounds there was the actual beauty of his devotion, of his love, that obviously John Paul II strove to follow in his own life. A copy of this image can be found also at the exhibition.
So what was John Paul II's conception of beauty when it comes to pieces, when it comes to art? He was surrounded with pieces of art. He also wanted to be an actor, so he knew, and he wrote his own poetry. And he has a very specific, different idea of this concept of beauty. What was it?
The artist was very close to the heart of John Paul II, but not only to his heart, but throughout his pontificate, throughout his life. So he issued a letter to the artist. It happened in 1999, when he more in depth into his conception of art, of beauty. For John Paul II believed that being a human transcends the material existence, and being an artist is to be called to manifest the beauty of creation, the beauty through which the Spirit of God flows. And each artist has this vocation, this task to be performed, to manifest and, so to say, perfect humanity, perfect his own identity of an artist, but also the humanity in itself. This letter is worth reading. Also, John Paul II asked a provocative question, because it's obvious that the church needs art to express the beauty, sometimes the beauty that goes deeper than through the material appearance, as we discussed with the painting, Ecce, Homo. But he asked as well, does the art, the profane art, needs church? And he obviously answers yes. Yes, because in the church, in the religion, there is this strive for fullness of human existence. And the Catholic Church actually is very provocative, saying that the destiny of man is somehow to become a God, a part of the Holy Trinity. So this image of a human existence that is to end up in unity with God is a knowledge, is an experience, is an inspiration that could be attractive for every artist, also the profane artist.
Does an artist need God, or do art itself needs church? Those are questions which John Paul II put in his letter to artists, and we encourage all of you to read it, because this concept is truly very interesting. And thank you very much for being with us and watching Poland Daily Culture.